What's up, Mac family? Still grinding, still hungry, still at it. Today will be the second time I got arrested. This time I was from Sex Mob, right? If you're not familiar with Sex Mob, I'm starting a documentary called Deeper Than Dance. Sex Mob was a dance group here in Oklahoma City from the late 90s to the early 2000s. We dominated the dance scene. So I'm actually trying to capture all of that, trying to build something organic, tell the Oklahoma culture. The year was 2000, right? And we danced with our younger crew, and they were called Baby Mob, because we was a little older than them, so it was like Big Mob, which was Sex Mob, and then Baby Mob was our little homies. So we had a smaller crew dance with us this show. Show was packed, the energy was phenomenal, like everybody cheering, Sex Mob, Sex Mob, Sex Mob. It was crazy, just the energy, the build up in the room was phenomenal. So we did the show, finished the show, ripped it, I'm pretty sure we won. We danced with this crew called Bomb Squad as well. Bomb Squad was like a lady dance crew that was here in Oklahoma City, and they did their thing. I'm super proud of them. So, the year was 2000. We get off the stage, and it was just so much energy. It was so much, you know, and you young, you got too much testosterone too, so you feeling yourself, right? When the let out of the party, you know, everybody kind of stand in the parking lot, get your vibes, catch a groove, catch a lady, whatever you want to do. So, like I said, I was full of energy. I was full of juice. So I go outside, right? And then my Baby Mob homies slinking out. Matter of fact, the ones that I did the Mean Struggle video with, it's on my channel too. Shout out to them. It was police officers in the parking lot. And I don't know if they were just messing with the little homies or just kind of rambling with them. My young homies was crazy too, so they probably end up doing some stuff anyways. So they go outside and they go tell us,
hey man, this officer messing with us, man. This officer messing with us.
And that's your job as the big homie. You supposed to take up for your little bros, because at that time, we was like, I was 17, so they probably had to be 12, 13, 14 at that time. So I'm like, nah, man, who talking to y'all? I go out there like I'm Billy Badass. Who talking about y'all? Who saying what? Who got what to say? So I go outside, doom, 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 like I'm finna do something. They point the officer out, right? They point him out. It was like,
it was him right there. He was doing all the talking.
So I said, okay, let me check this officer's temperature. I'm 17 years old, and I'm finna talk to an officer crazy. I go outside, and I'm talking to the officer like I'm Debo. I'm like, man, this is my little brother. Don't you ever disrespect my little brother like that. Who you think you talking to? These are grown men at these times. I'm 17 years old. I'm 135 pounds. So I'm talking cash shit to the officer. I'm like,
hey, man, don't you talk to my little brother like that. They good. They with me. Woo-dee woo woo woo. Blase, blase, blase. You know what I mean? I'm going crazy. Man, who you think you talking to? You ain't gonna do nothing to me.
I walk across the street because it was like a store across the street everybody was kind of hanging out at. So I just kind of jaywalk across the street like I'm Mr. Tough Guy, like I'm Billy Bad something. I walk across the street. And then we come back because my car was parked in the parking lot where the party was. So I come back across the street. Officer waiting on me. He done called his little homies, and he called a whole squad of officers on me. It just so happened, I feel bad for my boy K-Ruck, because he was just walking with me, you know, and I'm telling him everything that happened. And don't you know, that officer and like 4 other officers hear me up. Boom! Put me all on the car. Boom! What's your name? What's your name? They slam me on the car. Boom! Whole crowd going crazy like,
what he do? Don't let him go. He just walked across the street.
What's your name? How old are you? Come on, you going to jail. You going to jail tonight.
Boom, throw me in the back of the car. And like I said, I'm like, damn, man, I knew I should have been talking crazy. And my homies is all laughing at me. Benny all laughing at me, because I'm in the back of the police car.
I call my mama. I call my baba.
I was trying to get him to call my mama because I knew I was going to jail. So boom, we was 17 at the time. So we couldn't go to the county jail. Actually, what was so cool about that officer, he just took us to CIC, and he gave us the curfew violation because it was after midnight or something. He took us to like the juvenile hall or whatever you would call juvenile hall, or whatever you would call like kiddie jail. You know what I mean? They took us there. So me and my partner K-Ruck, we in the back of the car like, damn, we really finna go to jail, man. K-Ruck like, I ain't even do nothing. I'm like, damn, my bad, bro. I done set you up. So we get to the juvenile hall, and just so happened that my friend K Ruck, his mom knew somebody working at the juvenile hall center, so they recognized Quentin. So we like, dang man, it's like a Friday. I know we finna sit in juvenile hall all weekend, blah, blah, blah. We finna go in here, you know what I mean? We finna get bad with somebody or whatever. So we go to juvenile hall, and it was just a blessing that, like I said, K Ruck's auntie or somebody, I'm not sure who she was, but she knew him. So I was like, all right, bet, we good in that sense. And she didn't even really take us back to the sales. She just kind of let us sit like in the processing area, gave us some little crackers and juice and like whoop-de-whoop. Cause like my mom wasn't answering the phone. My mom already told me, if you go to jail, don't call me. So it was like, I knew I was stuck. I'm 17, I'm about to be 18 in a couple months. So I just knew I was ass out. So, but just so happened that Quentin's mom came to pick us up out of the juvenile hall, took me back home. We ended up getting out that morning. And that's rare too. Like it must have been like a Saturday night, because we was already knowing like we was finna sit down at least until Monday before we see a judge or just see anything, you know what I mean? But they let us out Sunday morning, and I came back to this actual property right here. And I got mad because like, damn, why was I talking to this officer crazy? But then again, like, I was relieved that I was actually able to get out. And fast forward, you know, because we got charged with curfew. And at that time, if you're under 18, you had to do like the Scare Straight jail tour, and you had to do like some community service. So I knocked out my community service at Eagle Ridge. Shout out to Al at Eagle Ridge. If y'all are familiar with Oklahoma City, man, shout out to Al for real. He did a lot for the city. And you know, it was type one of those jail tours, like Scare Straight kind of things. And I'm 17, I'm feeling myself. I'm kind of cocky with it. I know that I'm a grown up. I know what I'm talking about. So we go on the whole jail tour, the 201 North Sartell, we going through everything. And they take us to the juvenile floor. And these are like teenagers that's felonies, that's facing felonies. And we on the juvenile floor, and we looking through the pods. I see my partner through the pods like, well, yo, what's up? Because he recognized me. And this is like one of my closest friends to this day. Like, we grew up in the sandbox. Like, me and this man got real history. And to see him on the other side of the cell while I'm looking at it, to where I thought I was real big, bad, and cocky. And I see my partner in there, and he told me what his charges was. His charges was murder. He had murdered somebody, and they caught him, and he just was telling me the story, and he was telling me he was just gonna sign for his time and just try to beat it. He was 17 years old. Like, he was actually a little younger than me, and it just kind of tripped me out, because I'm like, dang, this is one of my closest friends. Like, I knew him from the 3rd grade all the way up, and he's in a cell for murder, and I'm out here goofing around on some juvenile trespassing or curfew or whatever. So it just kind of blew my mind. It really kind of got me on the straight and narrow. And I won't put his name out there or anything like that. If you know who it is, it is what it is. But it changed me for the better. And we wrote for a while, and he told me how he felt, and I kind of told him how I was moving out here. And it was traumatic though, when you see a partner that you know on that other side of that wall, and you know he ain't coming home. And when he told me he signed for 40 years, he in prison to this day. I'm 37 years old, and he caught this charge when he was 17, and he ain't been out since. It kind of changed my ways. So the moral of the story is, you know what I mean, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And I'm just happy to be out here recording something like this. Somebody young, somebody maybe watching this that can relate, and just kind of be like, nah, man, I'm going the wrong way, or you know you doing wrong, but you want to change it. So it's never too late to change it. It's always something that you can do to better yourself and be creative, be yourself. We got some big stuff in the works. So yeah, that's the story time on how I went to jail from being from Sex Mob. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Die TV 100.